camp radio guy.
I don't know if there's any need for camp.
Well, there's a wee bit of camp. I don't know if it was camp. You sounded a wee bit like one of the guys that's one of these guys that pulls people up for parking in the ring, but sounded like that.
That's a parent and child, actually.
Aye, one of the cunts, you sounded like one of them. One of the cunts has had a funeral plan since he was 22.
Did we not discuss funeral plan last week?
Aye, because it's a good bit I'm working on.
Oh, I see.
It's just in my brain. This is like that. Talk about because it's like one of these things that annoys me is part of the fuck it list, which is this is to escape boring, just normal convention of the world.
Right. In every aspect. If somebody does something different to you, is that a problem?
Aye, no, it's just like fucking rules. Like I know it's like we need rules, but it's just rules.
Aye, some like don't kill each other. That's quite a handy one.
Aye, but I'll probably go extreme and say I hate that. That'll probably be part of my material. But I'll start off with normal things like people paying bills in time and all that, and people having
you'll get your money.
Yeah, you'll get your fucking money. People having a budget now. People have like budgeted every penny they've got. These cunts.
I went through a period of trying to budget.
I should probably do that, but
aye, I mean it did help, but the admin time was a cunt.
Aye. Did you pay yourself hourly for doing the admin?
I gave myself like weekly pocket money. Aye.
I mean, I just like I know these things to be done. Maybe that's why I'm sometimes end up fucked because I'm rebelling against this.
Rebelling against paying your mortgage.
Well, I know I need to pay my mortgage, but I pay that eventually. But it's always last minute. I'm always kind of going, fuck. I'm always kind of the way my life works. Now people have things constantly ticking over. I'm waiting until things are going, I gotta fucking need to sort this shit out, man.
And then if you spent the last few months like, it's nearly August, I'll be fine.
Aye. Basically, it's like last year was nearly August. They go, fucking writing like fuck. There's people coming for Australia and they're going, fuck, 20 hours on a plane, that's enough time to write a show.
I thought it would be like the taxi from Edinburgh Airport into the town. Is that when they write it?
They'll probably go on the plane and go, right, I've got 20 hours to write a show. Oh, Dumb and Dumber's on the fucking movies. Let's watch Dumb and Dumber, that'll do.
And then Dumb and Dumber 2.
Dumb and Dumber 2's on. And then
Dumber and Dumberer.
Dumber and Dumberer. And then, I quite like Jim Carrey songs. Jim Carrey movies, songs. And then they watch what's the one he's in living in the thing, and he tries to escape.
The Truman Show.
And he's in the Truman Show. I quite like that.
Aye.
And then they watch the Truman Show. It goes, maybe we're in a simulation, and then they go on YouTube and watch hundreds of stuff of conspiracy theories.
And before you know it, they've landed in Edinburgh.
Before you know it, they've landed there. We go, fuck.
They've no written a minute of material.
Oh, right, the show doesn't start for 2 days. I've got 2 days.
I'll bet someone has done that, and then their Fringe show for the month has been about what they did on the flight.
Aye.
Over there. Like that became their show. That's like the most Fringe show thing I've ever heard.
I have I've heard stories where there is people that are well organised. I mean, I'm slagging off people that are organised because it's my thing.
Because they're different.
Because they're different, aye. But people that drive on the left-hand side of the road and that, fucking boring bastards. Damn you, man! Drive wherever you want.
Live a little, man.
Live a little. Is it not like, do you know you see these like you see these videos, is it Vietnam or something? And they're just fucking cunts driving all air that these wee tops. They just go,
there's no lanes in it. And
there's
it's just
no lanes.
Every
That's
man for
the way
themselves.
It should be. Just drive wherever the fuck you want.
Aye, go for it. I mean, like that roundabout down there, that's how it is anyway.
Aye. I mean, they've got that big, on the motorway, they've got that big brown bit, like nobody uses. The big brown bit that's at the side of the road. I mean, what the fuck's wrong with that?
Aye, use it. I mean,
sometimes there's traffic jams. What's wrong with that road?
Oh dear.
And sometimes the cycle lanes don't get used. Just fucking jump in there.
I can cycle.
Aye.
I mean, I'm in my car, but I'll still use the cycle lane.
And the pavement, if the pavement's quiet, fuck's the problem.
Fuck it.
Exactly. So fuck the government. Fuck the rules.
Carry the ball?
Oh, wrong button. Sorry.
He said it.
Fuck the rules and paying doing your tax return on time. All that shit at all.
What else? Getting your MOT. Fuck
Getting
that.
your MOT. Fuck that.
If the car starts.
I used to be really bad at that.
I've only missed it once by like 2 days, but Like, I've known people that have had like 6 months.
Aye, I don't think I was ever that bad. I think there was times like road tax, like years ago. You'll not remember. You're a youngster.
I remember going to the post office and getting your wee disc.
Oh, did you have to do that?
I don't know if I personally had to do it, but I remember going with my
your
mum.
dad had to do it, or your mum, aye. But like, so you had to go, and I would drive about where like, you had the disc on your thing, and it'd be out of date for fucking months just because it was.
I mean, like walking past cars and seeing like 2 years ago the date on it. Actually, I need to renew my license this month. That's 10 years. 10 years since I passed my test.
Fucking hell. So you passed when you were 17?
Aye.
First time?
Mm-hmm.
Well done. I was second time when I was 20. And I passed my driving test 2 days before I went to Shagaloo for the first time.
And then you come back and forget how to drive.
I probably didn't drive for a few years after it.
All right.
Because I was at, what was it, 93. So I was still at uni and I couldn't afford a car because I was at uni.
Aye.
But my first car was maybe about a year later or something like that. And I spent a student loan.
Your whole loan?
Right, so it was a whole loan. It was like 350 quid. That's what it was. And I went and bought this car which had a fancy brown exhaust.
Rust effect.
Fucking rust.
What kind of car was it?
It was a Fiesta.
Right.
It was A579 PSU. I still remember the regi plate.
My first car was a turquoise Fiat Panda.
Aye.
SJ05ZNT.
See, it's weird to remember that, innit? And I remember, like, the first day I bought it was a shithole. It was like a wee shithole. I was just desperate. I was an easy sell. Just desperate. These guys seen me coming.
Slag.
These guys seen me coming. They thought, this fucking guy, we could sell this any old shit. And I went in and I want a car. And she was excited to get a car. And they went, that one there, mate. But take that, you daft
Just
cunt.
rotting in the corner of the lot and they wanted rid of it.
Aye. And
they charged you for the pleasure.
And I remember I drove it away and it was a miracle that I drove. And the first thing I noticed, like, I was parked on a hill, put the handbrake on.
Non-existent.
The handbrake didn't work. So my first ever car didn't have a handbrake working. So I drove it like that for 6 months. And I ended up having amazing clutch control.
I guess you're in a good habit, doesn't it?
Aye.
My first, that Panda, it needed many things done over the years. First thing, the windscreen wiper motor was gubbed. So you couldn't drive it in the rain because it wasn't even like the wipers wouldn't even properly wipe.
Did you have to do that? Put your hand out?
No, I just had to check the forecast before I went out. But no, I got that sorted. What else was there? There was one point where some kind of clutch related cylinder fucked off. So like I had to, when I got in, I had to sit and pump. If you put the foot in the clutch, there was no resistance. It just went and hit the floor, and I had to sit and pump the clutch for like 5 minutes before I started the car.
Oh, fuck it there, man.
And then like sometimes that would just fuck off again. So there was that. Oh, many an issue with
I
the
had
Panda.
a car, maybe my third car maybe, and the reverse didn't work.
Would you just need to try and get really tight turning circles
So everywhere I went, I had to go. Like if it was the type of car, I had to go and push it back. I drove about like that for months. That's how stupid I was. So I'm all about fuck the rules, but some things are important, I suppose. But
like maybe a reverse gear in your
maybe
car.
a reverse gear. And
it was
brakes.
like driving a plane. It was like, when you get in a plane and they need to push it back off the terminal, they get the wee lorry to push it back. They've not got reverse. So
you're basically reverse.
No, so you're basically driving like a 747.
All right. I suppose you're not going to stop in the middle here because there's a dodgy cloud coming up going. So what episode be on that? Like I've asked 25, 26?
Oh fuck! I didn't even check this time. 20
odd, mid 20s,
27, 28 ish.
That's all right. Aye. So we're on fire. And what I was going to talk about this week, Chris. I know we've spoke for ages now.
8 minutes.
8 minutes.
Yes.
Right. So this what I was going to talk about, right? Well, the plans for the podcast, man, because we've not really.
We're just broadcasting a business meeting here.
Aye, why not? So because we've not really spoke or had a proper kind of chat about what we kind of do it because we enjoy it, but what we actually want to get out of it, or what we want to do with it. I know it's a good thing to do the new. It's good fun, but where do we want it to go with the future?
Sky's the limit.
Aye. And so I was just thinking about that, and I'm going, right, let's kind of see if we can talk about that during the, because you're too busy to talk about stuff the other times, because the only times I get to speak to you during the podcast.
You're right.
Where you're working and your music and all that.
I know. I've had to squeeze this in today. I
squeezed it in.
I got in for work at 6:30 this morning, and I've had.
Where were you?
A pishy sleep. Where was I? I've been various places up sort of Dundee way.
Aye.
Last night. Aye. got in at like 6:30, and then here's a fun story before we get back to
Right,
the meeting.
aye.
I had a work delivery coming today. I had a couple of Amazon things coming. So like I went to bed at 6:30. Ainsley went to work like shortly after that. And because it was like obviously light outside, no great curtains in the room, and I found Ainsley had a wee like eye mask
Aye.
under her pillow because she wears that sometimes. So I chucked that on to go to sleep.
And
And
you seen her thoughts?
I seen her thoughts. It was bleak. No, so I slept for like maybe a couple of hours, heard the Amazon or heard the delivery at the door, ran downstairs, and I forgot I had this eye mask. It must have like slipped up while I was sleeping. So I answered the door like in my jammies, like all fucking hanging
Aye.
pish stained shorts, and then I had like a wee leopard print eye mask up on my head. And the wee delivery guy was just like,
Hi there, what have I got? It's a wee Amazon delivery. Would you like to come in for a wee tip?
aye, that's exactly what it would have looked like, my wee leopard print eye mask.
I see when I'm doing the Just Eat deliveries, people turn up at the door. They don't give a fuck. Like, guys just turning up just with pants on,
Aye.
and I'm like, for fuck's sake, man, come on to fuck.
I usually like
Just underwear and that's it.
if I've got a delivery, I'll grab like a t-shirt or something when I get out of bed and fling it on while I'm going down the stairs. So
Aye.
I've done that, but
Aye.
like I just absolutely didn't realise till I got back upstairs and back in bed. I was like, right, that's still in my
At least you had jammies on. You didn't turn up just with pants on or boxers on, did you?
No, just shorts. Well, I had shorts on while I was sleeping and I chucked a t-shirt on.
Aye.
So.
I mean that's all right, but it's just people come to the door and you're like, come on to fuck me. A wee bit of respect. It'll take you like 10 seconds to shove a t-shirt on.
Aye. So that's where we got to from. I've been busy. So if my eyes look dead, they are.
That's all right. But so I was thinking, right, so right, I've asked you, right, where do you see it going, or what would you like to see it going with the podcast? What would you like to see the development of it?
So I'd like.
So I'm going to do one of your comments so that we're on the same page, Chris.
Stop this. I've not even done the material yet. For
I
goodness
know.
sake.
Let's go on the same page.
This Sunday, tenants come to
this
the
Sunday.
Comedy Workshop Showcase.
I genuinely love to see you there. It's Sunday. I think we've got at least 20 or 30 coming so far, so it'll be good. Tenants Bar, Byers Road, free entry, 8 o'clock, and it's my comedy workshop, guys. Chris is doing his second gig. We've got how many acts? 8 or 9?
Something like that.
Something like that. And they're all very good.
Yes.
A few of them, half of them doing it for their first time. Some of them are doing a few gigs in, so it'll be good.
Looking forward to it. I'm less nervous this time.
Aye.
'Cause you're
getting,
I'm less nervous just because I'm generally more comfortable on stage, but I've far less than last time learned my set, so I'm going to be a bit all over the place, but it'll be fun.
I forget your set's pretty good. Right, so what you're saying? So where do you see yourself at this podcast?
So we're at 7 months now since we started, didn't we? So we've built.
And that's early days. That's
Aye.
You can't expect things to go become huge overnight. So that's
Aye.
We always knew that it's like a process.
So I'm happy with we've got sort of middling 50s in the subscribers on YouTube. I actually got a wee email the other day saying we've had 1,000 audio downloads now over all the episodes.
That was on me.
refresh.
Aye, well, with 1,000 audio downloads, that's pretty good.
So over all the episodes, we've had 1,000. So I'm happy with kind of where those numbers are going. We've had wee spikes. We've had John McMustard. He brought in a lot of viewers. Raymond has decent views on his. Whoever's just shared it, good views.
Aye.
So I'm kind of happy with the trajectory of how it's growing.
We've got people that listen every week. We've got a few people that speak to us about it.
Aye.
So
I'm happy with that. Obviously, the next kind of step we're talking about is getting the Patreon side of things up and running to actually start making some candy.
See, we still need to build it up as well, though. So I was thinking, right. So no, I've been reading a lot of marketing books over the years, right?
Russell Brunson,
other guys, and all the marketing books, they've got like sort of similar steps.
No,
they've got similar steps, and I thought we could just go through them and I just see.
Okay.
And the first thing is, right, you see, is a lot of them say this, right, and I always find this a difficult one, and it's especially for like smaller businesses like ours. Like the first thing they think, and for comedy as well, I kind of think. I ask myself this question as well, and the question is, who would your target market be? Like who do you think our kind of listener profile would be? Who are they? And why are they listening?
People like me, I would say.
Right, and how do you describe you?
Oh, don't want to get into that. Well, just people like me in terms of I listen to like dozens of comedy
Aye.
podcasts to the point where like not only do I listen to them, I support them on Patreon
Right.
to get extra. Well, partially to get the extra content that they offer, but
So what
also
ones
for
have
the
you
sake
signed
of.
up for?
I mean, you've got your big ones like your Have a Word,
Right, the
this kind of stuff.
Liverpool guys.
So
aye.
they don't need my money, but I do it for like the extra episode every week.
And they've got
and
like
they're big,
20,000 subscribers or something.
very nearly at 30 now.
Fucking hell.
In fact, I'm going. Me and Ainsley go down to Liverpool on Saturday because Adam Rowe's having a country themed party thing.
All right.
So we're going to that on Saturday.
Bit of music on as well.
Aye,
All right. That's your thing. So
aye. So we're going down to that. It's for a charity thing. They're doing a charity bike ride across India later this year.
all the boys that are on that.
Aye.
All right. That's cool. Aye.
So they're doing it for a charity called Zoe's Place in Liverpool. It's like a children's cancer charity.
All right.
So they do
Cool.
quite a lot of stuff for them. But, so this is like part of Adam's fundraising for that. But I've been to quite a few of their live shows, been to their tour shows, kind of stuff.
Right.
so
So
that's-
you've seen their stand-up tour shows.
Yeah,
Right.
as well as their podcast live shows. But
So how did you find that? Like, 'cause I've never actually been to like a live podcast show.
we
And
talked about this a few weeks ago. The difference of what different people do for live podcasts. In their case, they didn't actually record a live podcast. It was just sort of like both Adam and Dan did maybe like a 15-20 minute set
Aye,
each doing
stand-up,
stand
aye.
up. And then some of the other bits was like they got people up for the audience to like play some games, like wee quizzes about stuff that's happened on episodes like through the years.
All right. So they quiz them on stuff.
Aye.
All right.
So, like,
aye.
And then like Finn, their producer, bit like me, he sings, so he did a bit of music stuff,
Aye.
that kind of stuff. But whereas you get other podcasts, I won't go too much into this because we did it not long ago, but
Aye.
other podcasts, when you go to a live podcast, they are actually just recording a live episode
Aye,
of it. So.
It depends. It's interesting. It's interesting how they do it. That'll be something in the future as well, possibly.
Aye. You can maybe do a combination. Do you know what I mean? You could do like an hour and a half show, so you can maybe record like a 45-minute episode and then do
Aye.
45 minutes of other nonsense.
I could do like a solo show and then a
Aye.
podcast after I have a guest on.
I mind you were saying was it Jimmy Carr had a thing like that where
Aye.
he was on the comedian podcast.
Comedian podcast.
But it was basically just recorded.
Stuart Goldsmith, so that's pretty good. So Jimmy Carr done his full show, like his tour show, and then
I just sat down and recorded that straight after.
so after it they had like an extra where they done
So
the
that could be an
podcast.
option for us if you were
Aye.
doing like a show and then we could do a podcast straight for there. So there's all these kind of options.
Aye. So the target market, do you think, is like people like you? So it's a tough one. So when I read these things, so I think about for my stand up as well. Like who's my? Because people they say you can kind of niche down. Because sometimes you go, who's your stand up for? Everybody. And they go, all right, well it could be, but it's like putting your message out
Aye.
for certain types of people.
Stand up, I think, is a wee bit different from music in the sense that like a lot of people will go and see comedians. Like you'll just go to a comedy club, for example, book a night at the stand, not really knowing or caring who's on.
See, that's different.
Whereas music, people tend to buy tickets to who they want to go and see.
But
I know comedy, you get people doing their solo shows and doing their own tours and stuff, but there's less sort of mixed bills in music in general.
Well, comedy. I think there's two markets. There's a comedy club market where people are just going. They're not going for a specific comedian. They're going for a comedy night.
Aye.
But then there's other comedy nights where people are going to see Gary Meikle. They're going to see Gary Falls.
Aye.
They're going to see Janie Godley. So they've got their. So it's a totally different thing. Kevin Bridges.
Aye.
So the people are going to go.
I mean, you get to obviously the level of these like Kevin Bridges and
Aye.
arena type acts.
Aye.
You're obviously going for them. When it's like
even in the Edinburgh Festival, you go to smaller shows because
Aye.
it's people you like. 'Cause
again,
that's what you do.
there's some mixed bills on at the Fringe, but again, it's mostly like you're picking whose solo show you're going to see.
Aye, because you go to see shows because it's people you've seen on podcasts, don't you?
Mostly, yeah.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. So that for me, that's kind of a big part of doing this podcast as well. If people see, if we build the podcast, hopefully people will come and see my stand up as well,
Yeah.
and that could work with you as well. If you're doing more gigs, people come and see you.
Aye, so I know I put that wee
Done.
clip out of that gig.
Aye.
And once we've got more music stuff done, we are hoping to get some like promotional video
Aye.
stuff sorted. So once that's up and running, I'll start sharing it through here as well.
And there's a thing that's interesting in the marketing stuff I read, right? This is this is the most intellectual I've ever been, marketing and all that, right? There's a thing where there's an idea where you create an avatar for your ideal customer, right? So it's like you pick an age and all that. It doesn't mean
My work did this a few years ago, and it was the biggest pile of corporate bullshit I've ever seen
It's
in my
not
life.
really, though. It's not really. It's not really because it kind of changes how your message is.
I can see the
And
theory
big
behind
companies
it.
do it. Big companies do it.
Yeah, this is a big company I'm talking about, and it lasted about 3 months before everyone went, "This is utter pish. Stop sending me emails about this.
Aye.
Fuck off."
Was it in your current job?
Aye.
All right, that's different though. So it's like, but it can be specific for people selling.
This wasn't
workshops, courses, and
like
stuff.
we're not like a necessarily public facing company that are trying to attract customers. Like, we work in a very specific business.
Aye.
And there's certain customers that we're established with, but this was a case of like they came up with this character that was like, this is the model employee of insert company name here, like you should be like this and aspire to do this and this and this, and it was a load of pish.
See, that's different because that's trying to put the employees in a certain way. That's trying to say who do we want?
So
as
no,
an
this is slightly
employee?
different because you're talking about looking for
people that actually
customers to attract.
Aye, so
type
people
thing.
that listen. Because for me, I think it's like people. So the idea, the fuck it list. Because for example, right, we got somebody last week who changed their job because of the podcast.
Oh, aye, I saw that. I meant to ask you. Aye.
About Mark McKenzie for the workshop.
Oh, was
It's
that him? Okay.
So I think that idea gives me like the reason. I think one of the reasons the fuck it list is a thing is because I like the idea of people going, they're doing something for years they fucking hate,
Yeah.
and they're not happy. I mean, it's a job, but then just going, fuck it, I'm leaving this shithole and doing something else. So I think like as a message, it's like to target to people that are doing something they don't like. They say to them, just say fuck it and leave, or do something different, or take action to leave.
Aye, or
You know what I
some
mean?
kind of action that if you're not happy in your life, do something to,
Aye,
to
so
fix
that's
it. Don't
it.
just wallow in the this is pish, but this is how it is. It doesn't need
It's
to be
like-
that way.
It's like people stuck in Groundhog Day, doing the same things every. Because I can't. We all catch ourselves. You're doing the same things every day. You're watching the same TV shows.
We know, speaking of
every day.
Groundhog Day, just a wee film recommendation, Palm Springs. Similar premise to Groundhog
Have I
Day.
seen
but
that?
I don't know if you've seen that. It's
Who's in it?
Andy Samberg from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Have you watched that?
Nah.
Well, you probably will
I'll
recognise
have a
him.
look. So
And,
similar to.
it's the same premise as Groundhog Day. Somebody stuck in a loop of the same day kind of thing. But in my opinion, I don't know if people look on Groundhog Day fondly because it's nostalgic because it came out when they
Aye.
were wee.
Aye.
Because I only watched it for the first time recently and I thought,
Oh no, man! Like Chris isn't that bothered with Groundhog Day.
no. But
So, ladies
Palm
and gentlemen,
Springs,
I'm looking for a new partner to do a podcast with.
but Palm Springs is a modern sort of take on
Alright.
that, and I found that so much better.
I'll have a look. Aye, that sounds good.
Right, back to 2 wee seconds. I'm going to edit this, but I need to send something for work.
Right.
And back.
We're back. Fucking hell, that was half an hour. He was. Do you know what that reminded me of?
A rude wee cunt.
A rude wee cunt. The guy who's playing golf with, so that doesn't matter. It's a shite story. I mean, it's a pish story.
No, you started
No,
doing
there's a guy who, like, we were on a golf out and a load of boys from Moody's Burn. No, it was a load of boys from Kilsyth. We used to play golf every year. And we had maybe about 20 or 30s used to go away in a bus. A day out playing golf, getting pissed all day and playing golf. Great day out.
Don't like golf, but I like getting pished.
Aye, so it was, the whole day was called the fuck up. So it was like a
You
tournament.
mentioned that, aye.
And so there's one guy, one day, he had an issue with his work. Like, he was a manager in B&Q. Like, he's one of these corporate cunts. Like, he's a good guy, but sometimes he get into corporate language when he's in the pub.
I bet he touches base.
Oh, he does. He like, it used to be the two of them. Him and Big John used to kind of work in B&Q. They'd be sitting there, they'd be talking about fucking B&Q chat. And I was like, for fuck's sake, lads, shut the fuck up. So then they changed to talk about football, and I'm bored to fuck about that as well. So Eddie, one day, all day, he was on the phone texting because he'd some issue with work, and it was just fucking. Like, see, I told you it was a shite story.
I thought it was going to go somewhere more than
Nah, it wasn't. He was just on the phone all day.
that. You could have said, that happened to me once, and that would have been the end.
But I did. But I tried to end it, and you forced me into
Right,
tell the story. And now, look, we've got we've got no subscribers.
back to business. Sorry about that shite.
Right. So what do we need to do to increase our listener watchers?
Listener watchers.
What do we need to do?
I try to relate it to basically how I found out about all the podcasts I listen
Right.
to and watch, and I think most of it is just through, probably because I follow a lot of comedians on social media and stuff, I see other clips
Right.
for the podcast.
Right, so that's one thing.
Which I know we're falling away from not doing
But
so many
that
clips.
should be me. I'm meant to be doing that because I've got my software now that I can do more of.
You have part of this meeting, by the way. I'd like you to keep doing that, but not use the stupid AI generated titles that it gives you because they do my fucking head in.
Right, aye. Well, argument titles as well. You're right.
I will come back to that.
Well, because I've learned that now. What I can do now, though, what I can do is I can get the clip.
Aye, because you can just save the video
I
on
can
its own
download it
and then just
put
upload it
on
yourself.
Aye. Because some of it
Because
is.
see, when I scroll past, whether it's one that you've uploaded or I've seen other podcasts that do it as well. Like,
Aye.
as a viewer, it makes me go, "Oh, they've been fucking lazy and just letting that do it."
Aye, because I can get good clips and it does all the captions.
It is quite good at picking out bits of conversation
and
that are good to share.
I can add extra if I want to go. I need a little bit more. I can say right. I want to extend that.
Or if it's that software is actually quite good at understanding our accents better than like CapCut.
Aye,
but occasionally, sometimes you need to go in and correct a wee subtitle or something. But,
no, I agree with that because I've done that with one of them. I downloaded it and then I could create my own subtitle.
Aye,
right, cool. So do you know what that's called in the marketing world? Putting loads
I don't
of
want to
up.
hear your corporate names.
Right.
I'm here for a meeting.
So it's called a funnel, right?
Of course, it's called a fucking,
It's a fucking funnel, right? So the idea is like, see, a lot of the big comedians out there, so they're kind of loads of clips on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts.
Mm-hmm.
So for me as well, I can put loads of clips from this and my stand-up, which during the festival I'm planning is to film everything.
Yep.
And just get loads of clips. And that goes on my TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts. And then on my bio, I've got like a link tree, which goes back to the podcast, my YouTube channel, and probably ticket links if I'm doing solo shows.
And the Patreon will be on there.
The Patreon as well. So that's what's called a funnel. So we need to do more of that, right? So that's a good thing.
Fucking funnel, man.
It's called a funnel, man. What? Right, okay, let's make a...
Not everything needs names.
What would we call it, right? What else would you call
This
it?
is my thing. This is going to add into the material.
It's a fucking comedy funnel.
Not everything needs a cute wee phrase. Not everything needs a fucking catchy name. Just fucking use words that are in the world
Right,
for
what would you
things,
call
man.
it then?
What? Why doesn't it be called something?
It needs words. Things need words.
I know things need words, but like you're saying, a funnel being
It's
the fact that people watch your clips directs them or funnels them into watching, finding your other content type thing.
So this is going to be a funnel, right? So welcome with a wee clip for the podcast. This is fucking a clip that then sends you into a funnel to go and watch the fucking full podcast, right? So this is a funnel that you watch this clip and then you go and watch the full podcast. It's called the fuck it list.
Fucking funnel.
And it's changing your life 2 words at a time.
2 words.
See? Fuck it.
He said it. He said it.
Right. So aye. Right, so that's one of the things we can do. I can focus on more of that because it takes me an hour. I can do a few clips.
Right, let's have the episode title debate now.
Right, so like he's giving me shite for this. Right? And I was like, we need to do like proper episode titles because at the moment, like who's watching the now? The only people that are watching is people that have shared the podcast because you never shares it either. He never shares it.
I make the magic
I
happen.
know, but you can still get a wee share. A wee share your a wee share on your Facebook when they go amiss. Just a wee.
I really don't use Facebook. But
But share it, man. Your dad shares it more than you.
I'm fine.
Because he cares.
Yeah, I'm meant to produce it.
Right, so shit, and definitely, so titles are important. Because are you ever on YouTube? Do you watch a lot of YouTube? Do you ever kind of go on YouTube?
I do, and here's my theory, right? The argument here that we've been having, not an argument.
It's not an argument.
We're not going to.
It's not an argument.
We're not going to get divorced here. How many fucking times? If you're going to shout, away from the mic. Right. So the theory here is.
What did I shout again? It's not an argument. That better.
Better. Yes. So.
That was the power move we had.
The theory is, and I'm well aware of YouTube algorithm pish, that if you have a catchy clickbaity title, thanks to the algorithm,
you triggered yourself with the clickbaity word.
Well, that is what we're looking at.
I know,
here.
but you're making that sound negative, which it isn't. It's showing you exactly the videos out. It gets the people.
No, I understand that it gets people in, but for me, I don't watch podcasts based on the title of it. In terms of shorter form YouTube videos by more traditional YouTubers,
aye,
or just interesting shit on YouTube, I will maybe be more attracted to that based on a title.
Aye, But so at the moment, the people who are watching, people who know who we are and know who I am are. So that's good. That's working that way.
But for me, I'd rather try and attract new viewers through the likes of sharing clips on socials and then use that to funnel them in.
Aye, so that's
because I prefer
and I agreed with you with my clips to get better titles for the clips, which is fair enough. But also, there's people like I go on YouTube and I'm kind of just browsing, going, "What do I want to watch?" And I pick it with the thumbnail. And like the picture, you go, right, that looks cool, and what it says, all right, that sounds interesting. Then you watch it, and there's so many things that I've watched that way, and now there's people I follow because I've seen them on YouTube. So
I'm the same in terms of follow people for YouTube, and I agree if that was a case of we were making a different type of YouTube video, like not a podcast, if we were doing something else.
No, it still works.
I know it does still work, and I agree that it probably would work to drive a bit more traffic. But I prefer podcast-wise because most of my favourite podcasts use what I've been doing, as in they'll build a following more through the social media side of stuff, and their titles have a bit more personality to them, and they'll choose like a funny wee thing that's been said in the episode.
I mean, that works once you've got a big audience, but we haven't got a big audience. So I'm saying, let's experiment with it. So there's another...
Well, we've done a few. Like the one last week's one was just called like Chicken and Jelly Bean Challenge, which is a wee bit. I'm not going to... Unless you want it to be like 3 people try hot as fuck chicken.
So there was what I wrote down, like, just for a laugh, right? Just things that when I was thinking about this, because I had like... Because I messaged you earlier about when I did the podcast. She says, like, we could come over now, but come over at 2:30, so a wee hour. And what I done was, like, I googled, have you ever read the Sunday Sport?
No.
Right, have you ever heard it?
Is it like a what's the word? What's the word I'm looking for here? Is it like The Onion?
A wee bit, but it's like a I think it's out every day. There's sport, and it's been about for years, and it's basically
like a sort of parody type.
Aye, it's ridiculous.
Paper thing.
So it's like, it looks like a normal paper, and it's usually full of tits as well. So it's like
right. So the real ones.
I know, but every second page has got huge knockers in it, right? So it's got that
knockers.
But the thing is, like every now and again, I've not bought one for years, but every now and again, the titles are hilarious, right? Like you see, have you ever walked by like? Do you read newspapers? No. I don't anymore.
No, I never did. I'll see like articles online occasionally and read them, but
see, I don't read newspapers just because I don't want to. I'm trying to kind of over the years I've tried to reduce.
Don't want to be brainwashed, man.
I just don't want to be influenced by certain things. I want to kind of read stuff that I want to read.
Yeah. So
it's a wee bit of that. I don't want to be brainwashed, but it's not as deep as conspiracy theories that.
Well, you never
know.
I
don't watch as much news now just because of that. You feel kind of your brain's all negative. So I try to watch things that are quite positive. So
shit like this.
Shit like this, man. So this is people want to watch. So what I did, right, I wrote down some, and these were, and this is how, and this is the reason why the Sunday Sport became pretty popular.
Right.
The headlines were fucking ridiculous.
No, let's hear some.
And it was just stupid.
So is this actual examples of ones they've used?
Aye.
Right.
Aye. And I mean, this will be different. I mean, we could use these because they're funny.
No, we can take some inspiration from them.
Take some inspiration, right? So, right. So this is the kind of shit. And I wrote down like 20 odd, but I just picked out the best 10.
Right.
Right. So this first one: locked in loony bin for having sex with Pop-Tart.
Pop-Tart. Okay.
Right. I used tomatoes as anal beads. See, you're laughing already.
I'm putting that clip out. Just you saying that.
I used tomatoes as anal beads. Now I'm shitting ketchup.
That was like, see those mad like Take a Break magazines? That's like the shit you see on the front of them.
Aye.
Like, my mum had a baby with my boyfriend and I'm paying for its milk or something.
Aye. So shit like that. So it's maybe because these are humorous ones, maybe that's the kind of thing that we can put on. So it doesn't need to be like serious ones, but stupid ones.
I mean, we have got stupid ones. Like an early episode was called Sylvester Stallone's Doug.
And did we do quite well with that one?
I can't remember, to be honest, but
see, that might
stuff. I've tried to put something funny that relates to the episode. I can try and steer that towards something that might make people go, what the fuck's that about? Because if you've seen a video called Sylvester Stallone's Doug, you might go, what's that?
So the other one, I stuffed 9 mini eggs down my Jap's high. Right.
You can't say that anymore.
I know, but he wrote Chaps Eye, so they went on PC with it.
Oh, but you said the bad one.
I know, I think that's what they meant.
Do you know, I used to think that was like the anatomical name. I'm not going to say it, but I'd heard it that much that I just thought that's what it's called. And it genuinely took till like my late teens, early 20s to realise that it was actually a very offensive.
Your penis is a very offensive thing.
It is indeed.
Right, what's the next one?
After Chaps Eye.
It's a forking miracle. Face of late legend Ronnie Corbett appears on Gardner's tool handle.
Forking.
Banned from every pub in Hull for shitting in the urinals.
Was that one about you?
Aye. Boris Johnson's pig gobbled my cock.
Was that David Cameron?
I don't know. I didn't actually read the stories.
Gobbled my cock. Gobbled's a funny word, isn't it?
Gobble.
Giza gobble.
Giza gobble. Chuckle Brother double as a stag night stripper.
To me.
Aye. And it basically, I seen that, it was like a photograph. You can maybe look at it, put this on. It was a photograph of a woman in about 70 looked at one of the Chuckle Brothers in a bikini.
Was it Paul?
I don't know the difference.
One's dead. That's the difference.
Help, I've got a jammy. No, wait a minute. Help, I've got Jamie Oliver's garlic press up my arse.
Jamie Oliver. I would certainly be inclined to read that article.
Jeremy Corbyn, sex dwarf eaten by otters.
Sex dwarf. There's a lot there to dig into, isn't there?
I see you go, what the fuck is this about? You can maybe use one of these headlines as your headline for this one.
No, I'm not stealing things. We'll come up with a daft.
I've bonked 500 women pretending to be James May.
James May.
This is a good one. I wasn't flashing my willy. I was shoplifting sausages.
Dear.
So these are all the headlines that have made the Sunday Sport famous as fuck. And do you know what it's like? The formula is, right, see the formula, Chris, is a hook, story, offer. So the hook is how you get people in.
Yes.
Which could be from the clips as well. You get them in, they like your clip, and then they go and do that. But also from that.
Yeah, that's more how I've found people through clips.
But from clips, but that's true. But there's other people that just like me. I watch videos not from clips, although I do watch clips and go, I like that. Let's watch more of that. So I do that as well. Mm-hmm. But a lot of the time I'm browsing YouTube and I see things. Go, all right, that sounds interesting. And then I end up following the person.
Yeah.
So there's a hook, the story, and the offer. So the story is like so basically your hook is getting people in. The story is just listening to us talk shite, or the video. Yeah. And at the end you tell them to do something, which could be join the Patreon.
Giza gobble.
Giza gobble. So if you'd like to give us a gobble, no, don't.
I'm taking gobble wise. The gobbles are all yours.
The gobbles are on me.
The offers are flying in for the gobbles.
that made me take
support us on Patreon for 3 gobbles a month. Oh wait, would that not mean we're giving them 3 gobbles?
Aye, that means if you pay us £10 a month on Patreon, you get 1 gobble a month. But for £50, you get 3 gobbles a month.
That's a bargain, that.
Aye, and you get to pick who your gobbly is.
No. Gobbly.
Gobbler. Is it your gobbler?
You would be the gobbly if you were receiving the gobble.
All right.
So you'd be the gobbler.
Who was it? Was there a football called Bruce Gobbler?
I'm not into my football.
All right, I don't know.
Back to business.
So that was. So
yes,
it.
A call to action, they call it.
Call to action. Let's just tell me to do something.
I've heard of the corporate pish.
But it's not corporate pish. It's fucking. It works, and that's me. Like I feel as if I'm going against what I said earlier. Rules are for dicks, but then
rules are for rules. Apart from all these things, I've read in my books, my business books.
But this is going to make our podcast fucking. We've got 100 people a week, or regular, or millions.
We'll get there.
We will get there. What else did I write? Right, let's see what else. So, Big Farmer. That was a joke we done earlier, wasn't it?
That was in the house quite a while before we started.
and that's what I use. Like, see, like during the festival, the hook is how you get people to be flyering. That's
yeah.
how you attract their
I
attention.
like the time he did the wee post-it notes.
Post-it notes, aye. So that's a big part of flying. It works with a lot of things.
Yeah.
So there, the times I've been out shouting my head off like a lunatic, people go, "Who the fuck's this nutter?" They talk to me and then they come to my show.
That wasn't even you trying to get folk in. You were just out in the streets.
I know. I took a load of mushrooms. I hadn't, but aye.
Do you think we've discussed last week how we both don't like mushrooms?
Nah.
But see, for the sake of doing psychedelic mushrooms, do you think you could get over
Aye.
the dislike of mushrooms for the sake of the
Aye.
experience of doing mushrooms?
Aye, because you can get them in a different form.
You can get like tea bags,
And
can't you?
by the way, like what episode is this? 26, 28 or something like that?
Roughly.
I've actually decided on a fuck it that I'm doing this.
Ayahuasca part 2?
No, quite, no. Probably maybe after the festival when I've got some money.
Uh-huh.
But I've decided to do a mushroom trip
Yes.
over the next week.
Are you going to film it?
No, I'm a fuck. But we'll talk about it. So like there's
Yes.
a wee place that I know that you get because I don't like mushrooms, you wouldn't actually be eating them.
Oh,
I've got a juice. You got like a juice that you drink.
I thought you were going to say the place that does mushroom fudge.
Aye, no, it's the same place.
Is it the same one now?
It's the same place. Obviously, we can't. Obviously, this is all just lies for the purpose of
This is
entertainment.
creative things.
So I've got a juice that
I bought something for them the other day as well. Naughty.
so I've got that, and I'm going to probably do it. I've got the gig on Sunday, so I won't do it before then.
Right.
And I might have a few beers, so I'll probably need a few days after that. So maybe next Tuesday. So the reason is like because the festival's coming up, and because the ayahuasca episode was about 10 or something,
Ish.
10ish, like because I didn't get the full experience then. You know, I thought,
You kind of jumped into the deep end with that, didn't you?
aye, because I'd never done anything before, and somebody says maybe you should have done something a wee bit.
Did they shoot it like this?
Right, maybe you should have took something.
Maybe you should have dipped your toe in the water first.
Aye. But so that's why I've kind of went fuck it, and plus I need material for the festival as well.
So much like the guy sitting on the plane coming from Australia, you're sitting a week before it starts going, give me some.
Aye. So I'm going to probably do that. Maybe gigs on Sunday. Probably maybe if I have a few beers Monday, I probably would maybe do it on Tuesday, and do a podcast next Wednesday about it.
What day does the festival start?
So it's the 3rd of August.
Is that the Monday?
No, that's
Can't remember the date.
So I officially start my show the 3rd of August, which is a Saturday.
Yeah.
But I'm doing some shows on the Friday. I'm actually doing a rap battle on the Friday.
Rap battle? Aye, because I know not everyone starts and finishes the same day. Because I think last year I went through on the first Friday of the Fringe.
Aye.
And like not everyone had started. Some people were starting the Saturday, some people were starting the Monday kind of thing. So
Aye. So what I'll probably do, right, there's actually shows that start, so I start the Saturday, but there's shows that start maybe the Tuesday or the Wednesday preview shows.
all right, okay.
So I might actually go through, because it's the only chance I could get to see some stuff.
Yeah.
So there's some people that are pals of mine who aren't be PBH free friends or doing other stuff
Aye.
that I wouldn't see. So I might go through and see them on the Thursday or the Friday just to see their show. And it'll be the shitest because it's the first one.
I know, I remember like last year having seen like a couple of shows on basically the first day of the Fringe.
Aye.
I saw a couple of things on the sort of third weekend, and then I saw a couple of things on the very last Sunday.
The same shows.
No, I never saw the same show twice, but you could
Right.
just sort of tell the vibe. Like the stuff I saw the first day, you could tell things were still being worked out.
Aye.
They weren't quite in the flow. The things I went to on the sort of third Saturday, like everything seemed to be like everyone had got it sorted. They were enjoying themselves.
Aye.
Like Mark Nelson posted on Instagram or something like after the show I was at. It was like, this has been the best one of the Fringe. Everything just went perfect. Great crowd. Everything. And then the shows I went to on the very last Sunday, you could just tell everyone was fucked and sick of it.
Aye, well, it depends who it is, man. I've seen people doing their last show and being brilliant.
I mean, everyone was still good, but I think they were just a bit fatigued from having done
No,
it. Like,
well, it depends who it is, because I find that my last shows, because I've got that kind of, like, I generally kind of.
well, that was that day I saw you. That was the last Sunday.
yeah.
I think you. I don't know. Did you do one on the Monday, or was that Sunday? the
No,
very
Sunday
last
at
one?
the aye.
Aye, so that was your very last one, and it was a great show. No camera.
Was that bit off?
Aye, just now. I think it's overheated.
So we're back.
We're back. Wee camera issue.
We had a wee camera issue there. What were we talking about?
We were talking about Fringe shows, seeing them at different periods of the Fringe.
So I find it all depends on the comedian, right? I find I've seen the nutters are the ones. There's people who kind of they get to the last few shows and they don't give a fuck in a way that maybe during the show they're focusing on getting the structure of their show right because they're worried about reviewers and getting the message across. Getting the message. I want to tell them at the bit at the end that was sad, and I want to do the bit that changes the world. And then so they're
classic Fringe.
So you know like Adam Crow done the bit about his girlfriend that dumped him.
Did you say Adam Crow?
No, Adam. There is an Adam Crow.
Oh, right.
What's his name?
Rowe.
Adam Rowe. There is an Adam Crow who's now a film director. So that's something. So
we saw him on the last day as well. Because I briefly spoke to him in the Globe when we were in to see you. I was kind of talking away to him, and he was like, it's been great. I've sold out every show. But I'm fucking sick of Edinburgh. I want to go home. It's like that's pretty much his attitude. But the show was still great. He was sort of doing the Fringe just to develop that show because he then went on to tour it. I know a lot of people do that. So like,
it's a great way of doing that. If you're doing 3 shows, like I'm doing 3 shows a day.
He was only doing one a day.
Lightweight.
But so like the show was still great. I've seen that same show again since it's toured.
Was it better?
I would say it's quite different. As much as it was towards the end, he's then obviously still continued to develop it for near enough another year on the tour. So you can still see where it's kind of based in the same stuff. I wouldn't say it was necessarily better or worse. Just a wee bit, good. Just a bit different, just as good. But again, you didn't get the feeling from him as he was on stage like I'm fucking sick of this. I just want to go home.
That shows a good comedian though.
He's still in character and he still fucked about, had fun with the audience kind of thing. But also, as much as I'm saying, you can tell if you go to a show on the last day of the Fringe that the comedians might be a bit fucked and they're done with it. But actually, more of that I got from the audiences. Like the very first day of the Fringe, everyone seemed a wee bit, obviously it's a lot of tourists and everyone's a bit like, ooh, what's this? Third week when it was like that kind of sort of prime time where everyone's saying it's the best, brilliant audiences. And then that day me and Scott were out at various shows and we were both hanging. But it just felt like all of Edinburgh was hanging. every person at every show just was fucked.
It could be the last weekend, you got hangovers and that. So, but I think there's like for me anyway, like there's a carefree, genuine, not giving a fuck anymore attitude at the last one. Because I've definitely seen people are uptight, like doing PowerPoint presentations and getting everything right, worried about the tech. And then the last day, if things go wrong, they go, I don't give a fuck. And that with the workshop we talk about attitude, and that attitude comes across, and you see more of the natural version of them. And that can be amazing. But they go off script a bit. If they've had a tightly scripted show, they go, I don't give a fuck about this shit anymore. But it makes them funnier.
You just find that gold in the sort of natural stuff coming out. That's kind of what I'm trying to do, as we've discussed a number of times.
And you're because you said you're slightly less prepared this time.
Probably quite vastly less prepared this time, but I'm happy.
But I think your performance is getting better.
Last week at the workshop, or sorry, actually, I'm going to say 2 weeks ago at the workshop, I came away feeling like I've not done enough with this, I've not prepared enough, I've not worked on the material enough, I wasn't terribly confident in it. But we were also at that sort of late stage where everyone's heard the material and you're not getting big laughs in the workshop. But I know to expect that. I'm not like thinking, the material's not funny because nobody's laughing. Like, they're not laughing, they're still laughing, but they're not laughing much because everyone's heard this material every week for like 6 weeks. I mean, that was the week you told them not to fucking laugh as well. Prick. But when I done it last week, there was only like 5 of us in last week because it was only like a wee bonus week, but I actually felt...
So you get bonus weeks when you do the workshop?
Yes. I actually felt it went a lot better last week. I don't know necessarily. I'd only added in 2 or 3 wee bits of nonsense, but I just felt much better about how it went last week. So,
I found like this last week. There's a few of them were kind of like, Samantha's bit come along amazing.
Yeah.
She just got loads of wee punchlines in there. I was like, holy shit! It's just went from just kind of tweaking it a wee bit, and then last week was that fucking yes.
A lot of people seem to have that. Like you'll see it very steadily developing week to week, and then 1 week towards the end, it just sort of clicks, and you're like, "That's brilliant."
That was like Sarah that done a workshop 2 years ago.
Yeah,
And she was a bit like that, like up to about week 4 or 5. It was kind of a bit was all right, but then she came one week and I went, "That's fucking perfect."
Aye,
You know,
what have you done?
it was just a like perfect wee set.
Yeah.
And then there was Deirdre that a couple of weeks ago just finally got together and got a good wee set together.
Because last time round she came in like we had new story every week.
I know.
And like your advice every week is like, you've got funny stories, just pick one and develop it. And she kept giving me new stuff. But this time round she has developed like 1 or 2 wee bits into a really cohesive good wee bit with loads of punchy lines. It's good.
Because we stand up, right, a lot of people think, because what I get, which is weird, like people develop, they first start, they develop a 5 minutes and they think they do it once and then they move on. It's like, no, you need to, when you do a 5, you tweak it. You keep doing it. Like if you start doing the circuit, you've got two good 5s now. Yep. You could do them loads of times, and the more you do it, you'll find better punchlines, your timing. Sometimes what happens is people go, other comedians will go, "See that bit you done? Why don't you add this wee line?" And go, "Fuck, that's hilarious."
Because I mean, on the bigger scale, like we're saying there, like guys like Adam Rowe have done the Fringe to develop. They're basically doing that, but in an hour-long format. Do you know what I mean? They've got a rough outline of an hour-long show based on just stuff they've been doing in and around clubs, but you're not going to have been doing that for an hour. You might have been doing 10s and 20s, and you've developed stuff to start putting together. So over the Fringe, he's put that into an hour and then developed it based on audience response into the best of that. And then he's continued to do that as he's touring it. So
and when you're doing like an hour, like I find that when I'm doing an hour, you start off, you think that's the structure. You go, all right, okay, that's how I'm going to do it. But then just off the cuff, you tell other stories. And you go, fucking hell, that's actually
that
better.
Actually works after that. And
that works better than the bit that I was doing. And then,
do you think when you write stuff, like if you just write a new bit of material, do you think in your head, like, audience will laugh at that bit, audience will laugh at that bit, and you try and build it around that, and then when you try it, you realise the bits you thought were funny aren't, but they laugh at different wee bits?
Oh, aye, totally, aye. And I mean, a lot of this stuff, like, if I'll write something down, I go, right, okay, I think they'll laugh at this. But then I find when I'm on stage, it's totally different, because I'll do throwaway lines that then become more of the material than the actual material.
There's a few wee bits in mine that have gone that way.
Like what?
I can't even think of any specific examples, but I remember like the first week trying this stuff that I'm doing now, whatever it was I did, like I'm trying to think of the line, I can't remember, but there was something I just said and it got a really big laugh, and I was like, that wasn't part of it, but it's staying in there.
Because you're looser now, because you're not as prepared, which is good, because there's definitely a like comedians, I think, that can be too prepared, where you don't allow that natural kind of shit. Because see the way, like, I know when I was doing I want to win with a few people, what I would do, like, I would kind of, rather than get them to go through the material or chat about the material, we'll just chat about comedy in general. And while I'm doing that, I just make it natural, and they'll come out with wee things, and I go, "Can I stop you there?" And I'll go, "See that wee bit you said there? Write that down. That's funny, because you're saying it naturally, you know."
Aye, so that's like how some of my stuff's just naturally come out. I've not written it down and planned to say it. I've just sort of chucked it in conversationally, and it's worked quite well. So,
and do you know what it's like? No, the way I see it, right? Because see the way good comedy works, like people, the naturals. Right, they're on stage like talking to a crowd as if you would in a pub.
Yeah.
Like for example, like we're doing a podcast here. Did we've never sat down and gone, right, what we're going to do is you say this, right, and then I'll pause, and then I'll say this, and then we'll have an argument. We'll have an argument about subtitles for gigs, and you'll say, "I don't want subtitles," and I'll say, "But we need them," and then I'll do a bit about funnels, and you'll say, "Fuck funnels, that's a bit." So imagine we sat down and go, right, spend 5 hours writing this week's podcast. It wouldn't work.
Oh, we famously do quite the opposite of that, where you go talk about this today, and I go, right, record. Welcome.
Aye, then it kind of works, and so I think comedy is like a balance between that, a wee bit of structure. I mean, some comedians need more than others, but I think like a lot of like good comedians, they go on stage with kind of ideas, and they riff with it on stage and work it out on stage. I kind of do that way, and I'll talk into my phone and go, right, okay, that wasn't quite it, and I'll try it again.
Aye.
Eventually I go, all right, but then I don't really work it out until I'm on stage a few times with it.
Aye. No, I think I definitely this material I'm doing now, I think I prefer to my first 5. I can still keep my first 5 and try and develop that a wee bit as well. But
what was your first 5 about again? Your granny fat shaming you or something like
yeah.
that? Your childhood trauma.
Yes. Childhood that's not.
But that was good. That was good though.
It's still good stuff, and there's still probably stuff to be explored with that and to do with it. But between that and then the 5 I'm doing now, I just need to. I know I'm still saying I'm going to do gigs. Now I've got all the music stuff I'm trying to deal with as well.
That's all right, man. At least, Chris, you're doing your thing. You're being creative and doing shit.
Oh, that was a wee Morphy this guy back into yourself.
What was?
Like you started that sentence as your wee voice and you ended it just as you.
I didn't realise that.
It's the schizophrenia.
So, Chris, at least what you're doing is you're being yourself.
That's exactly how it sounded.
That's but it's important, man, and that's why the fuck it list exists. It's like doing your thing. Did I say it? It's like doing your thing, man. You're back doing your music again.
Yep.
You're doing gigs. You never really wanted to do comedy, or did you secretly want to do it?
No, it was secretly something I wanted to try. But I never.
Did you tell MD?
No.
Did you tell Ainsley that you wanted to try comedy, or did you kind of keep it secret?
No, I don't think I'd ever told anyone.
It's weird, isn't it? Like,
why? As much as I wanted to try it, it wasn't sort of a case of one day I definitely will. It was just like because I watched so much comedy.
Aye.
You know, like when you watch something, like you like sitting watching snooker. I know you'll play, but you might be sitting watching snooker like one day I'll be like that. I mean, I'm the same. Like I'll sit and watch an F1 and I'll be like, one day I'll be an F1 world champion.
Well, I reckon I've still got a snooker world championship in me.
You never know.
Imagine 1 year, right? Imagine like I had a really good year at comedy and I just practiced, like I had 2 years and I practiced 8 hours a day for 2 years. Do you think I'd be good enough?
I mean, I think you do that, but it's just on the wee game.
I know. That's ruining my life. But imagine I played snooker for 8 hours a day for 2 years. I wonder how good I could get.
Let's find it.
I reckon I could get knock in a few centuries anyway with that.
Let's try it.
Because when I played years ago, my highest was like 78, but I didn't quite.
I don't know what numbers mean in snooker.
Oh, it's high. 78 is no bad.
Anyway, right, we're nearly at the hour. Have we got any closing remarks for the meeting?
It's not a meeting. So join our funnel.
Fuck your funnel.
Fuck your funnel. Subscribe, interact. We need people to interact as
Call
well.
to action, guys.
Oh, fuck off.
Smash the like button.
Oh, no, I hate cunts to say that, man. I fucking smash the like button.
I find that as cringy as clickbait titles, but okay.
No, clickbait titles. It's no clickbait. See, you've got the connotation wrong there.
I'm saying the word that can.
So it's important.
Take it as you will.
Because if you think about it this way, right? So if you use a clickbait title and you've got somebody out there that's just surfing the net and they're bored, they're on the verge of fucking leaving this planet.
Fucking
imagine this person, right? So imagine there's this person who's fucking working in the warehouse, right? Working in Gist.
Oh, actually, I can see why they wouldn't end it now.
Right, so imagine this guy, he's working in Gist 8 hours a day, he's getting bullied by fucking arsehole bosses every day, and he's going, I fucking hate this life's shite, it's never going to get any better than this. And he spends all his money in cocaine at the weekend, a few guys that are working, and his life's shite. But then one day he's bored out his mind, he's on YouTube. And he's on YouTube and he sees this title and he goes, what the fuck is this? But it's us because we've had this argument. And he goes on and goes, holy shit, the fuck it list.
So is the title of this episode going to be targeted to that warehouse guy?
Aye.
So we're going to call it like, don't do it, mate.
No, not that. It's fucking ram your job up your ass or something like that. So imagine this wee guy, right? He's on the end, he's just bored and he's thinking about taking heroin, right? He's like, I'm going to take heroin, fuck this. And he watches one episode of the Fuck It List and he goes, fuck this. The next day he goes into work. The manager fucking gives him shite. He fucking goes up and punches him in the face. And he starts his fucking comic. He's had these comics and he's had these comics in his drawer for years, right? He's been writing these comics, but because he's a working class guy, he's got all these superheroes that he was like, no, I can't show anybody.
Maybe believed in him, but the main thing was he never believed in himself.
Exactly. But he watches, fuck it, I'm going to be a comic book guy. He gets his comic books out, he starts sending them off to publishers. A couple of years later, he gets a blockbuster movie he makes 10 million quid because we put a good subtitle up.
And that man's name was Stan Lee. It's actually a true story.
Was it? Did I make that up?
I was just suggesting that the biggest name in comics
What was it?
was actually thanks to us. Okay.
Who was Stan Lee? Was he Spider-Man?
I like Marvel guy. So
Aye, so there could be a wee guy working just that's got comics in his book.
the next Stan Lee.
Get your comics out, say fuck it and go and change your life. That's what I'm saying.
Inspiring stuff. So, last call to action. This Sunday, 21st of July, Tenants, Comedy Workshop. Come and see me, come and see him.
Aye, and my Edinburgh Festival shows are coming up. So from the 3rd of October.
No, you'll be too late. August, right?
3rd of August, I've got my shows at 2:20, the Banshee Labyrinth on Nidri Street called The Fuck It List, and it's a PBH free Fringe. You just turn up, watch the show, and pay me what you want at the end. And then I've got a show 4:45, the Globe Bar, cheapest pint in Edinburgh. It's fucking great wee room. And then a show after that, 7:45, Whistle Binkies, Jocks, Geordies and Asians.
And Asians, no Aussies this year.
No Aussies, but it probably will be Aussies anyway.
There'll be some up here.
Right, so that's it. So come and watch us, especially Sunday, plus my show. And leave your job, go and punch your boss to help me ram it up his arse.
See you next week.
See you next week, aye.